The book of Psalms, chapter 97, starting at verse 9, and it reads, For thou, Lord, art high above all the earth, thou art exalted far above all gods. Ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hands of the wicked. Giving all praises, glory, infinite honor to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. That is all praises, blessings, honors be to the Most High. His true name is Yahweh and not God. And our Lord and Savior, his name's YAHAWASHI. That's whom the world ignorantly called Jesus. Shalom to the Lord's elect, and much respect to the brothers that teach, preach, and prophesy in the true doctrine of YAHAWASHI. There's only one truth. And double honors to the elders, the bishops, and the apostles of the great millstone. That is where I learned this truth. I want to thank the Most High, Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, for giving me the inspiration, the Holy Spirit, the RAWCHAA, QADASH, and the Paleo Hebrew tongue, the inspiration to do this lesson. Yahweh willing, this lesson will be edifying and to the point. And my beloved brother and I will go live, Yahweh willing, in about an hour or so, Lord's willing. And it says, ye that love the Lord hate evil. This is a society that promotes wickedness, encourages wickedness, and the ones who speak righteousness or condemns the wicked, they are generally sometimes frowned upon, because like I said, this is a world that is framed by all types of unrighteous decrees and all types of wickedness, and this is how these people get down, you know. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, and start at verse 15. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. This is what we are doing. The ones who are taking heed to this message, seeking the Lord 10 times more, repenting. You know, it says, follow the Lamb wheresoever he goeth. You know, the word. Verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? This is a question being asked. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? See, because iniquity is sin upon a mass scale. All these things that these so-called elites, they do behind the scenes. If the average person did it, they would be locked away somewhere in a prison, and probably wouldn't even see daylight. But because of who these people are, you know, because they're the ones who as it says here earlier, let me just go to verse 20. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? See, because these are the ones who, these are the lawmakers, the ones who's essentially calling the shots on this world. You see, because they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. They don't hold themselves accountable for what they do. So this is an article here from the Natural News website. It's actually dated today, Sunday, May 25th, 2025. Depends on where you are in this world. But it says, we had lunch in Israel once. New questions swirl over Epstein's intelligent links. Yeah, and also, ultimately, this is more for edification purposes and bringing out the gospel, the good news, because we know all these things are all psyops. These are all distractions from what is really happening in the world. But it is used to bring out the gospel and show who the wicked is. You know, prophesied against them, prophesy against Mount Seir. This is once again. So it says, Jeff Epstein, 2007 plea deal negotiated by Alan Dershowitz. And if you don't know who that is, man, let me just show you. Let me just allow me to introduce to let me introduce you to this person. This is Alan Dershowitz here on your left. Okay, so let's go. This is he's involved in a heated debate. So just listen to this vile creature. Listen to this. He is a big time lawyer for the elites, and you know how they get down. All right, so pay attention. Listen to this.
Just called me a pervert. He will be sued now.
So this, I don't know the gentleman here on the right. These guys get into all these debates, but he just called him a pervert. And Dershowitz is I know a few years ago he wrote a book, and he wanted to. I gotta be careful what I say here, but he wanted to lower the age of consent to 12 years old. So he wanted to make that in this society, and you know, this current society, just things like that it would make people's the hair in the back of their head stand up. But the reason why he was doing it, because he is protecting a lot of his high men of this world status. He's the lawyer for them. So now listen to this. So this guy on the right called him a pervert. So listen to what he says to him.
A pervert. He will be sued now for defamation, and we
defamation
will be able to resolve this
opinion.
in a court of law. I guarantee you that he will be sued.
In my understanding, you are a pervert
the woman
because you
who
are
falsely
acquainted with
accused
Jeffrey
me
Epstein.
has now.
He said you'll be sued because because
He just called me a pervert. He will be sued now for defamation, and we will be able to resolve this in a court of law. I guarantee you that he will be sued.
In my understanding, you are a pervert because you are acquainted with Jeffrey Epstein.
Pause that for a second. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. This is let's start at verse 10. It says, "Let us oppress the poor, righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age." This is the point. "Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing." So this is the point I want to highlight. Let our strength be the law of justice. So this man calls him what he is, and the first thing he says is what? Listen to this again.
He just called me a pervert. He will be sued now for defamation, and we will be able to resolve this in a court of law. I guarantee you that he will be sued.
In my understanding, you are a pervert because you are acquainted with Jeffrey Epstein.
Has now withdrawn her
Sure, I've got my own defamation cases. I know the law very well here.
That
you
she
can't
may
threaten
have
me.
confused me with somebody else.
Very well.
And
I
calling
consider
me
you to be a pervert
will
because of your
result
connection with
in
Jeffrey
a
Epstein.
defamation lawsuit
Sure,
in
I'm
an
ready for
American
it.
court and in a British
I'm ready
court.
for the
I
lawsuit.
assure you of that.
I believe
Let's
you
move
are
on to
old
Israel now.
pervert.
Why don't we move on to the
resolve
debate?
this in court.
All right. Fair use, fair use, fair use. I don't own this video. Obviously, it's off of another network, but fair use, fair use, fair use, contrary to 107 of the Copyright Act, allows for fair use for criticism, commentary, and edification purposes. Fair use, fair use, fair use. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that out just to show you who he is. So, but he's also, let me see if there's one more I can hear.
Who do you
Doesn't the United States steal secrets from Israel too? Of course they do.
No, actually, no. The Israelis were off limits to us at the CIA. We were.
Okay, well,
All right, I'm gonna leave it there because some of these might have, some barriers to it because these devils don't want this truth to come out. All right, let's go here now. It says Jeff Epstein 2007 plea deal negotiated by Alan Dershowitz. So now you know who he is. Alleged hinge on unproven claims of Epstein intelligent ties. Dershowitz admitted during a 2025 interview that the deal was influenced by Epstein's supposed affiliation with intelligence, but later hedged his statements. See, this guy, this guy is a maggot. He is Fork Town, double two-face. Because who he associates himself with, he's just a vile person. You know, Dershowitz admitted during a 2025 interview that the deal was influenced by Epstein's supposed affiliation with intelligence, but later hedged his statements. Former Mossad handler Ari Ben Menashe and others allege Epstein orchestrated a honeypot operations for the Mossad. In case you didn't know, that's the Israeli Secret Service targeting political figures. So once again, this is all the information that's out there, that it was a big plot to get some dirt on some of these high political figures, so they could put some put some strangleholds on them. And this is former U.S. President here, Bill Clinton. And I was watching a documentary a long time ago, and it says he has on Epstein Island, he has a big mansion, and they said in the foyer of the mansion, it says Clinton is seen in a portrait lying down on a couch wearing a blue dress. So if that's not what showing his power, because all these so-called elites, they've all been there. All your famous celebrities, all the big who's, presidents, so-called royal families, they all been there. These are the, as it says in the book of Psalms, the 73rd chapter, these are the ungodly who prosper in this world. You see? So it says, Epstein ties include connections to Mossad agent Robert Maxwell, and that's Robert Maxwell. I believe that's Ghislaine Maxwell's father. This is her. That was his. This is Epstein's right hand right here. So she was recruiting a lot of the business for Epstein, but her father, well-to-do Robert Maxwell. See, financier Leslie Wetzner, and Israeli aligned hyper surveillance networks, shifting narratives from Dershowitz and FBI official Don Bongino, amplify scrutiny over United States accountability and intelligence secrecy. A recent interview with Alan Dershowitz, the lawyer who brokered a controversial 2007 plea deal for disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. This is all you need to know, who he's representing and who he aligns himself with, right? These are the ungodly. It says, has reignited debates over Epstein's alleged ties to intelligence agencies and to the extent government overreach in shielding him from prosecution. I wonder why. During the conversation, Dershowitz ambiguously admitted that he knew Epstein was told to belong to intelligence, but hedged on whether he believed it. Okay. Contradicting his previous denials of Epstein-Mossad links. Meanwhile, newly surfaced testimonies and his historical content reveal a pattern of cooperation between Epstein associates and Israeli intelligence, casting doubt on official narratives and judicial transparency. Let's go to, we'll come back here. This is the book of Psalms 73, and we're going to start it at, let's see. So I want to make this short because like I said, I have to get ready to go to camp very soon. It says, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, starting verse 3. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Because these people are well-to-do. They're very rich. Make no mistake. I was looking at a thing yesterday. A lot of these people are billionaires. They're well-to-do or multi-millionaires because of all the schemes and schisms and isms that these people do. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Because they seem to be, they're prospering on this end. They're the ones who's the shot callers, running the government, bribing politicians. So they're ultimately, their money is their strength. Their money is their strength. That is the strength that they have. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. See, because a lot of these people too, when they said no bands in their death, one of them, one of the elite families there that just, which one was it? I think it was, I think it was Evelyn Rothschild. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Evelyn. These people had so many heart transplants. Jacob Rothschild recently passed about a year ago. And another one died about less than a year ago in that fire in California hills and in them rich areas. But you see, these people you don't hear their names mentioned for any type of wickedness, like in terms of criminality, openly criminality, because there's no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. And their strength is what? The laws that they have all the top price lawyers like Dershowitz, and a lot of things that they money buy their way out of courtrooms. They do a lot of out of court settlements and hush money. That's how the wicked gets down. You see, they are not in trouble as other men. Once again, neither are they plagued like other men. See, they don't have to worry about where their next $500 is coming for to do the general repairs on their car or whatever. No, because there's no bands in their death, and their strength is firm by their money and the laws that they write. See, they're not in trouble as other men, neither are plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment. Because of all the crap that these people have been doing, some of the stuff that it's beyond your imagination. These people are just vile. They are filth. They are scum. They are vile. You see, their eyes stand out with fatness, billions and millions, and all this hidden money that these people have, and what we don't even know, bunkers and everything. They have more than their heart could wish. See, they have more than their heart could wish, but never enough, because they always try to oppress the poor. That's how the rich gets down. They always oppress the poor. You see, they are corrupt. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. What's the first thing out of this man's mouth? Man called him a pervert. He said, I'm going to see you in court. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, because that is the pride. That is the pride of these devils. They speak loftily. That's where it goes into pride. Where was I now? It says, the unchecked deal accosted Dershowitz and above their pay grade claims. In 2007, then U.S. Attorney Acosta faced mounting pressure to prosecute Epstein. See, this is a lot of these people. They know a lot about this guy, but they refuse to touch him because he had a lot of dirt on these people. Amid voluminous evidence of child. You get that. Instead, he accepted a plea deal negotiated by, once again, Alan Dershowitz, which limited Epstein to a short prison terms. See, any other person would be doing what? Federal pen time, and avoided federal indictment. Once again, Acosta later disclosed that he was advised by a higher authority. See that Epstein stood above his pay grade. Once again, I can close this lesson right here. Acosta later disclosed that he was advised by a higher authority. One of the elites put some pressure on that Epstein stood above his pay grade, a phrase interpreted to mean Epstein was working for intelligence. Yeah, okay. He had a lot of information on the other ones. New relations underscored Dershowitz's pivotal role during a May 2025 interview with conservative influencer Benny Johnson. Dershowitz confirmed he oversaw the deal after being told Epstein was an intelligence asset, but added, I don't know. It's possible. We had lunch in Israel once. Listen to this guy like he don't know. This guy is looped in with all these devils. How do you mean you don't know? I think he sidestepped. See, sidestep. It should be side crawl, snake, direct questions on whether he believed Epstein was an asset, muttering Epstein deleted himself or was deleted. See, this contrasted sharply with the earlier insistence in 2023 that Epstein was not a Mossad agent. Mossad allegations, honeypot operations, and double lives. Epstein's alleged espionage role was bolstered by testimony from multiple sources, including former Mossad agent Ari Ben Menashe, who claims Epstein ran a honeypot operation to lure politicians into compromising situations, once again for intelligence gathering. Ben Menashe, a controversial figure with proven Mossad ties, detailed in a book how Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell targeted global elites, including Prince Andrew, photographing encounters to blackmail adversaries. And this is, once again, to show you who Maxwell is. This is Robert Maxwell's daughter. Can't remember who this face is, but that face is familiar. I just can't think of his name right now. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. See, these are the wicked right here. So it says 2 further testimonies corroborate the narrative. Stephen Hoffenberg, Epstein's former Wall Street partner, testified Epstein, and these people are all Amalek, told me, Giselle Maxwell would be his passport to the Israeli agency. An anonymous former girlfriend of Epstein claimed he bragged about his Mossad connections and described Maxwell nudging their victims towards strategic interactions. Ben Menashe claimed with undocumented links between Epstein network and Israeli interests. Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, a proven Mossad collator, financier Leslie Wexner, who bankrolled Epstein, was a former pro-Israeli mega group, and Epstein himself frequently technology hubs in Herzliya, Israel, a center for Mossad undercover operations. Shifting tones and retreating narratives. Dershowitz's non-committal remarks mirror a broader pattern of evasion. Once again, Dan Bongino, the FBI official and conservative commentator, abandoned his 2025 call for a full Epstein. So he got approached. Epstein investigated, now declaring the case closed. Here we go, case closed with Epstein's death. That's another lesson for a day and a half, but that's nevertheless. It says, similarly, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt deflected questions about Epstein ties to intelligence at a May 19th press briefing, because also the current president, there's a lot of links with him even being there. And he said, oh yeah, what is one thing he said? Oh, I knew him before, but I have not spoken to him in quite some time. Talking about Trump. So they all think that's why she's evading as well. It says ties to intelligence at May 19 press briefing, citing the DOJ's vague comment to releasing classified files. See, the abrupt silence and retracted claims have fueled public skepticism, while officials once demand accountability. Good luck. Suddenly remember nothing. Credibility erodes. Note investigative journalist Kim Iverson, the scrutiny extends beyond Epstein, questioning how U.S. authorities balance national security interests with the rule of law. We just read that in Psalms, the 94th chapter. You see, particularly when transparency is sacrificed to protect assets with lawless agendas. Woo! You see? Let's go to Psalms 37. I'm going to close out because it said it doesn't have to be long. I'm going to, like I said, head out fairly soon, Yahweh willing. It says, Psalms 37 says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. These are the rich. These are the elites. For they shall be soon cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. See, well, our job is to do what? Trust in YAHAWASHI. Let the Lord deal with these devils, because that is their lot. It says, trust in the Lord and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. That's all we did. Give us this day our daily bread. I want to see something here. 1 second. Here we go. Let's go here. This is verse 9. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord shall inherit the earth. The meek shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, see this? Thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. See, like a dream. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotted against the just, and gnashes upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. This is why these people are getting down so quick. This goes into Revelation 12:12. The devil knoweth, but he have a short time. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be upright conversation. This was considered an upright conversation because we're chanting down their strongholds. They don't like this. This is what they do. They have the law to protect them. The man called him a pervert, or whatever we call a pervert, and he's ready to use the law against him. He says the sword, their sword shall enter their own heart, and their bow shall be broken. A little that a righteous man have, listen to this, a little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many of the wicked. See that? Once again, a little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many wicked. There you go. Let me go something here really quickly. Wealth gives individuals significant control and influence over those with less, because this is how they get down. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Because a lot of these people are what? International bankers. They are all tied in the same circle. These are the rich. These are the ones that prosper in this life. The well-to-do. I'm gonna do this and I'll close this out because time is going. But the last precept. This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 27. It says, "For evil shall be put out. Eventually, the light of the wicked." This is what it's saying. The light of the wicked. Let me go here for 1 second. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. See that? For evil shall be put out. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. This is why they call themselves the what? The Illuminati. You understand? You see? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Let's continue here. I'm back here. 2 Ezra 6 verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And my favorite part, as for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. Because all these people are very, very, very corrupt. This is why they mingle in them circles, flaunt their monies around to buy off judges and bribe people and blackmail people. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. Given all praises, glory, infinite honor to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH, Shalom, and Abad Babad, Shalom.